So slowly making your way to your child's pose. Making it as comfortable as you can be. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths and just start to warm up the body, get into the low back, stretch the hips. And as you're in your child's pose, do your best to take long inhales and exhales. I invite you to inhale through the nose, and on your exhale, sigh out the mouth. Just allow your exhales to really help you sink deeper into the posture. And we just got Catherine here, so we are good. Welcome, Catherine. We are starting in child's pose today. And for child's pose, you can decide if you want your knees close together, give your low back more of a stretch. You want your knees as wide as your mat, get into the hips. And just slowly walk yourself forward, arms overhead. And just like I told the other ladies, if the floor feels far away, you can't get your forehead to the mat, that's okay. You can stack your fists and have your forehead rest on your fists. I sometimes like to start here and then work my way deeper as my body starts to stretch. And of course, we have Crosby coming to do yoga with us today. Crosby, you're right in the way. I know. Okay, 3 more breaths like that, in through the nose. Sigh out the mouth. Be audible with your exhale, in through the nose. Last one, make it your biggest one yet. Beautiful. Now you're gonna keep yourself exactly as you are, except for you're gonna have your left arm thread underneath your right, or coming into a thread the needle child's pose hybrid. So your left ear will come to the mat, facing the right side. And on your next inhale, left arm overhead, and now right arm threads underneath left. Right ear to the mat, or as close as you can go. Looking under your left arm. Beautiful. On your next inhale, right arm comes back overhead. We're going to come up into a tabletop now. So do your best to round your spine as you make your way up to a tabletop, moving slowly. It is the morning, no rush. So coming into our tabletop, make sure your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and we're just going to come into a few of our cat-cows. So inhale, belly will drop, gaze is forward, coming into your cow. Exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, cat. Inhale to your cow, belly drops, gaze is forward. Exhale, round the spine, cat. We're going to do 5 more, following your own breath. Allow your breath to be your guide. So you can make these as slow or as quick as feels good for your body. once you've completed your 5, we're gonna meet with a rounded spine and cat. And you're just gonna slowly come back towards a child's pose. Take a breath. Exhale, and then inhale, round your spine forward, drop the belly, coming into your cow. And then allow your arch spine to bring you back now into a child's pose. And try to make this a fluid movement. We're doing a moving cat-cow. And it might look funny, and that's okay. We just want to focus on how it feels as we warm up the spine and warm up our wrists, joints, and our knees. Beautiful. One more, and then we'll meet in tabletop. Now, we're gonna get into the sweaty part. So before we get going and really moving, I want you to remember to always bring the practice to your body and not your body to the practice. So you know your body best. If you have injuries, if anything doesn't feel right, please don't do it. I will offer modifications. And if you want to push yourself, that's on you. Always listen to your body. So we're gonna lift the left leg and the right arm. Okay. Begin to engage your low belly, engage your core here. This is a breathe and balance class, so make sure you're breathing as we focus on these balancing postures. On your next exhale, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, straighten. 2 more. Following your breath. And then coming back to that straight line, either staying exactly as you are or bending that left knee and reaching for your left foot with your right hand. If you can't reach for it, you can't grab it, still try to use the strength of your leg to keep it up. If you can reach, begin to kick your hand into your foot, your foot into your hand, and maybe gaze forward. Beautiful. Release slowly, coming back to tabletop. I always like to wiggle in between, shake it out. We're gonna do the other side now. Inhale, right leg will lift, left arm will lift. And just begin to breathe here. Engage the core. And then exhale to crunch. Inhale, back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, back out. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. 2 more. Last crunch. Back to straight. And again, stay here. Or bend that right knee and reach the left hand to the right foot. You can grab your foot, gaze is forward, chest is open, and we're breathing. Beautiful. Exhale, let that go. Wiggle it out. And then tuck those toes, and on your exhale, lift the hips slowly up to your downward dog. Now you do not have to have straight legs here. If your hamstrings are tight, by all means, please bend your knees. We are looking for a straight line from our hands to our hips. So if you are like this, I invite you to bend those knees. Come back. You're gonna breathe here for a few breaths. Maybe you wanna pedal out your dog. So your right heel comes down, left heel lifts. Switch. Just getting into hamstrings, waking them up. We're gonna do some breaths of fire or lion breaths. So inhale through the nose. Exhale, stick out your tongue. 2 more like that. Inhale. Beautiful. Now look forward and slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Knees can be very bent. We're coming into a forward fold here. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. This is going to be the best alignment for your body. Bend those knees and let the head and neck hang heavy. You can keep your hands on your mat, or maybe this is where a block or a book might come in handy. And if you have ragdoll in your practice, you can reach for opposite elbows and come into ragdoll and just hang out for a couple breaths. Maybe rocking from side to side. Beautiful. Let that go if you have ragdoll. We're going to come up to Uttanasana, standing in mountain pose. You're going to slowly come up on your inhale. Vertebra by vertebra, head comes up last. Beautiful. Come to stand in mountain pose. Again, feet are going to always be hip width apart. Sometimes in yoga, they'll tell you to bring your feet together, but that's just really hard alignment for a lot of us women who have more open hips. Take a breath in your mountain. And as we stand here in mountain pose, I invite you to bring an intention for today, for your practice, as well as the rest of your day. Whether it's to show up with love, to be patient, to trust. And just repeat that to yourself in your mind's eye. My intention for the day is beautiful. And keep that in your mind as we practice. Inhale, arms come up overhead. Exhale, bending at the knees, hinging at the hips, folding forward, hands come down. Halfway lift, hands come to shins, flat back on the inhale. Exhale, plant your hands, bend your knees, step your right foot back, knee comes down, coming into a low lunge. So before we lift our arms, check in, make sure you have this right angle of alignment. We're really engaging our low belly. When you feel stable, inhale, arms overhead. Really engage your inner thighs here and your glutes. It'll help keep you stable. Arms are active, fingers are active. And then bringing your hands behind your head. You can clasp your fingers, your hands come behind your head. We're gonna come and we're gonna do some twisted crunches here. These are really fun. So on your exhale, right elbow comes towards left knee. Inhale, back up. Exhale, inhale, back up. Exhale, inhale, back up. Exhale, inhale, back up. One more. Inhale, back up. Beautiful. Arms come back up. Bring them to the mat. This is where blocks might come in handy, or your props. We're coming into a half split. So heel toe your left foot forward. So if you struggle with this pose, because this one can be a doozy, this is where the blocks are going to come in handy. Our blocks, or our props, are an extension of our limbs. So they're really helpful. Otherwise, if you don't need them, amazing. If you need them, also amazing. You can stay upright, or you can begin to imagine your belly coming towards your thigh, letting your head and neck hang heavy. And really make sure you're breathing here, those deep belly breaths. Sigh it out the mouth if you need, let it go. This can be a really intense posture if we're not used to doing it often. Beautiful. On your inhale, come back up. If you had blocks, just move them off to the side. We're still going to need them. Otherwise, bring your foot back in so the knee can bend. Allow your back leg to go further back a little bit so we can go deeper into the hips. We're coming into a low runner's lunge. was about to say row runners. I was like, no way. So before we lift our arms, bring your hands to rest on your left thigh. Just take a couple breaths here, begin to feel into this posture, how it feels in your body. Make sure you're not just sinking. Want some engagement here. Protect your low back, engage your glutes. And then if you feel called to, you can lift your arms overhead, bring your hands to prayer, bend your elbows, and have your hands come behind your head in prayer, just opening your chest a little bit more in this low runner's lunge. Beautiful. Inhale, come up and out. Exhale, hands come to the mat. Framing that left foot. Tuck those back toes. Right knee will lift. Step back to plank. Now we're going to come through chaturanga. So I invite you to bring your knees down and then shift forward. Elbows bend, coming down to the belly. Inhale, coming to Sphinx pose. Forearms come to the mat. Elbows are underneath the shoulders. Really engage your legs and your glutes here. This is our first back bend of the practice. And know if this back bend feels best for you, please take Sphinx throughout our practice instead of Cobra or Up Dog, which I will cue as we go. Exhale, coming all the way down. Hands come back underneath shoulders. Come up to tabletop and then push yourself up to downward dog. Beautiful. Pedal it out a little bit. Use your down dog as an opportunity to rest, catch your breath. Maybe grab a sip of water if that's something you need right now. Beautiful. Now we're going to lift the right leg. It doesn't have to go very high. Looking forward, stepping that right foot through, or maybe just walking it through if stepping it through is in your practice. Left knee comes down. We're coming into that low lunge on the other side. Inhale, arms overhead. And then again, we're doing those crunches. So hands come behind your head. You can clasp your fingers together. Inhale, exhale, twist left elbow to right knee. Inhale back up. Exhale to twist. Inhale back up. Exhale to twist. Inhale back up. 3 more, following your breath. Beautiful, and it's okay if you're wiggly and wobbly or you fall out of it, just come back in. Inhale, hands come back overhead. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat. This is where you might need blocks again. We're coming into half split on the other side. Heel toe that right foot forward. And again, you decide how far you go. Inhale and exhale, begin to fold forward if that's in your practice today. Let your head and neck hang heavy. And breathe. If at any point you're in a posture and you're having difficulty breathing, that is your body's way of telling you you've gone a little bit too far. So always go to the edge where you can still breathe with ease. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up. Bring that foot back in so your right knee is bent. You can let your left leg drop further back a little bit as we come up. We come into our low runner's lunge. Again, just have your hands resting on your right thigh to start. Allow your body to get used to this posture and how it feels. And then inhaling, arms overhead. If you want to, you don't have to. Palms come together, prayer to the back of the head, so you're bending at the elbows. And allowing your chest to be open as we sink deeper into the hips. Beautiful. Coming up and out. Exhale, hands frame that right foot. Tuck those back toes. Step back to plank. Take a breath in plank. And then again, you can lower your knees or full chaturanga all the way to the belly. And then deciding if you want to do Sphinx again or inhale, coming into a cobra. You don't have to come into a high cobra, you can come into a low cobra. Maybe you even want to lift your hands off the mat and just use the strength of your spine. Beautiful. Exhale, coming down, pushing yourself up to tabletop. And let's grab a sip of water before you keep going. Perfect. Okay, meeting in tabletop. Tuck those toes, push yourself up, downward dog. Take a breath. And then looking forward, walk or step your feet towards your hands. Coming into a forward fold once again. And then slowly coming up to stand, the rounded spine. Head comes up last. Meeting in Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, we're gonna do some more balancing. So I'm gonna come back a little bit so I have a room. You're gonna bring all of your weight into your left foot. Bring your hands to your hips to start. Lift the right leg. You can stay here with a bent knee. Then straighten that right leg. Maybe hands come to prayer, one leg into Tadasana. And then begin to bend that right knee, coming back, almost coming into a bit of like a back bend here. This might feel or look weird, that's okay. And then stepping back to a high lunge. So I'm gonna move myself forward again. So coming into our high lunge. Really engage your inner thighs, push in to your feet that are connecting with the ground. And then on your next inhale, we're going to twist towards the left. It's okay if you're a little shaky, a little wobbly. It's normal. And then coming forward, bringing that right hand towards the mat, coming into a twisted lunge. If you need a block or a book, by all means, good time to use. And then looking down, bringing the weight out of the right hand to come back into a twisted lunge. And then back into a high lunge. And then step your back foot forward a little bit. We're coming into warrior three. So begin to shift your weight forward, lifting that right leg, doing your best. It's okay if you fall out of it, you're wobbly. Breathing here. Whoop. And then slowly coming up and out, doing your best not to have your right foot touch the mat. Straighten that right leg again. And then bring it down to Tadasana. Oh, shake it out. I know, that's a hard one. It's a sequence I'll make you sweat. Take a sip of water. I know I need it, so if I need it, I always assume you guys do too. Beautiful. No, we're sweating, because I am definitely sweating. Okay, doing that again. Other side. Remember, left and right sides will feel different. That's okay. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your weight into your right foot. Begin to lift the left leg. Keeping the knee bent, staying as is. We're straightening that left leg. You can bring your hands to prayer if you want to challenge yourself. And bending at the left knee. Coming into this weird back bend thing as you step back into your high lunge on the other side. It's okay, sometimes your feet don't always land where you want them to. You can readjust. Next inhale, begin to twist towards the right, twisted high lunge. Engage those inner thighs. Really press into your feet. And looking forward, left hand comes to the mat or a block. So we come into our twisted lunge. Looking down, doing your best to bring yourself back up into a twisted high lunge. Back into your high lunge. Take a breath. Step that back foot a little more forward so you can shift your weight into your right leg forward, coming into your warrior three. Also, this is where blocks come in handy. Woo. You need one. Woo. See, even I'm falling out of it, that's okay. And then slowly make your way back to your one-legged Tadasana. Take a breath. Exhale, let that go. Whew. Shake it out. That was good. Take another sip of water if you'd like. I'm fighting with the wall here, so I'm just gonna step a little bit away. So I want your feet to be a little bit wider than your hips. We're gonna do these like standing cat-cows. They might seem a little weird, but I promise you can feel good. So inhale, arms overhead. Bring your arms to a cactus, bending at the elbows. And bend your knees. Inhale, stick your butt out, have this arched spine. And then exhale, fold forward, almost like you're gonna hug yourself. Inhale, back to this arch. Exhale, round the spine, hug yourself. 2 more. Following your breath. Now when you're in that grounded spine, allow yourself to fold forward. Coming into forward fold with your wider feet, with your feet wider than hips. We're gonna hang out here for a few breaths. So maybe you wanna take your index finger and middle finger, wrapping them around your big toes. Come up with a flat back on your inhale. Exhale to fold. Maybe you want to bring your palms underneath your feet. You have that in your practice. This is always nice. Kind of gives the hands a massage. You're doing this one. Sometimes I like to rock a little bit back and forth. It's very, very small movements. And just massage my hand. Slowing down the breath. Releasing your hands from underneath your feet if you have them. And then heel toe, your feet back to be hip width apart. Inhale, hands come to shins, halfway lift, flat down. Exhale to fold. And then step back to plank pose. In plank pose, really make sure you're engaging your core. Now what we're gonna do, and this is a challenge, so go to your edge. You're gonna shift onto your right to come into a side plank on the right. Now, if you need to do a supported side plank and have your bottom knee down like this, by all means. Otherwise, side plank, breathe here. And then if you were in a side plank, come down into a supported side plank and reach your left arm overhead, coming into this really nice juicy stretch for the whole left side. Beautiful. Letting that go, coming into tabletop. Before we go into the next one, come back into a child's pose for 3 breaths. Beautiful. Coming up and out. I'm just gonna flip the other way so I'm not facing the wall. Coming into your tabletop and then coming up into your plank. Really pushing the floor away with your hands. And then side plank on the left side. Right arm lifts. Remember, you can have your bottom leg down, a supported side plank. And then we'll all meet in supported side plank and reach the right arm overhead, coming into this beautiful juicy stretch for the whole right side. Beautiful. Let that go. Okay, coming into your tabletop. You don't have to face the other way, I just am now. And walk your hands forward. We're coming into puppy pose. So walk your hands forward and begin to let your chest fall towards the mat, bringing your forehead down to the mat. Maybe you need a block so your forehead can rest on the block, or bringing your chin to the mat, whatever is in your practice. Beautiful. On your next inhale, slowly come up back to tabletop. Now, we're slowing down the practice now. Don't worry, no more splitting. So this is a good one to have a block. We're gonna do toe stretch, and this can be a really intense posture if you don't practice it often. So you're gonna be up on your knees, your toes are tucked. And this is where it's good to have a block. So when you start to come back, if this is like, holy moly, this is a lot for my toes, for my feet, it's a big, big, big stretch. This is where it's good to have the block, kind of lean on to help you. Remember when I started doing this stretch, I thought it was the worst thing in the world. But it's really good if you get foot cramps. This is a good one to ensure, kind of counter that. And if at any point you're like, oh, it starts to be too much, just ease up a little bit. We're gonna stay for 5 more breaths. Beautiful. Coming up and out, coming forward, bringing the tops of your feet to the mat and tapping your toes. Ooh, let it go. This is my favorite part of that posture. Beautiful. Now coming down, we're coming to sit on our butts. So getting there, whatever feels best for you. Let me move this out of the way. Actually, we might have our blocks still, so you can keep those around. We're gonna come into a butterfly. So feet come together. Now, you don't have to bring your feet really close into your butt. That's not the point here. We're having a diamond shape with our legs. And if you want some support, this is where blocks or books or whatever can come in handy. You can just have them resting underneath or placed underneath your knees. Your knees can rest. And this actually helps you sink a little deeper, having the support. Now I'm going to give you the option, I'll turn so you can see what I mean, to make this an active or a passive posture. You're going to make this an active posture. Inhale, spine is straight. And as you fold forward, you want to try to keep your spine as straight as possible. You want this to be more passive, round that spine, and just begin to fold forward. Now, when I'm in postures like this, I always like to check in with my jaw and see if I'm clenching. So check in and make sure that your jaw is relaxed, because our jaw is a reflection of our pelvic area. So if we can relax our jaw, our pelvic area starts to relax a little bit more too. And slowly walking yourself back up, bringing yourself back up. And you can either stay as you are. I'm going to face the long edge of my mat, bring my right leg out, and have my left foot on the inside of my right thigh, or as close as it can get. And again, this, you might need blocks for this, so just see how you're doing your support. Bring your right hand in front of your right leg. Inhale. Left arm reaches high and over, coming into a side Janu Sirsasana, side stretch. If you can, maybe you bring your forearm down to the mat. Either way, we're really making sure our chest is open here, that we're not collapsing forward. Our chest is open. And if you want to give your head and neck a break, you can always hold your head or your head with your hand. And again, if that feels kind of far away, this is where a block is super helpful. So breathing into this beautiful stretch. And staying exactly as you are, but now reaching that left arm away from you, flexing the hand. So fingertips are pointing towards the ceiling. And you can let that left arm go, but use your right hand to bring your head back up. Prevent yourself from getting a head rush. Now, our left foot is going to come to the mat, knee is going to bend. Now we're facing our right leg, okay? We're coming into a twist. So your left arm is going to come behind you, acting like a second spine as you hug the knee, your left knee with your right arm, and begin twisting towards your left. Maybe looking over the left shoulder if that's in your practice. Beautiful, letting that go, maybe counter twisting a little bit. And then let your left knee fall down. towards the ground. Now that we're facing our right leg, we're gonna come into a Janusirasasana or head to knee pose. Now you don't have to get your head to your knee, that's just what it's called. So starting upright, inhale, spine is tall, and then exhale, use your hands to walk you forward to wherever you can go today. Again, blocks are really helpful here. But if you are right here and you feel a stretch, please stay here. That's amazing. You have it in you to go further, maybe grabbing for your foot, your ankle, and let your head and neck hang heavy. We're going to stay here for 5 to 7 breaths. Beautiful. Walk yourself back up and just switching sides. Left leg is going to extend wide. Sole of the right foot comes in towards the inner left thigh. And then again, if you need blocks for this, you're more than welcome to have them close by. Bringing your left hand in front of your left leg. And inhale, reaching the right arm up and over. Maybe bringing your forearm down if that's in your practice. And this side might feel different than the other, maybe tighter, maybe you can go a little bit further. Letting your head and neck just hang heavy, or maybe holding your head with your hand. And staying as you are, but reaching that right arm away now, flexing the hand, fingers pointing towards the ceiling. And then letting that right arm go, using the left hand to hold the head as you bring it back up. Beautiful. Coming into our twist. So right foot, sole of the foot is on the mat, knee is bent, right arm comes behind you, acting like a second spine, and then hugging that right knee with the left arm as you twist towards the right. Beautiful. Letting that go, maybe counter twisting a little bit. And then letting that right knee fall down. Doing Janusirasasana, head to knee on the other side. So maybe you have your block nearby or your blocks. Inhale, spine is tall. Exhale, walk yourself forward. And remember, you don't have to go to the full expression of the posture right away. You can move slowly and just allow your body to guide you. Checking in with your breath, make sure you are still breathing with ease. Staying here for 5 more breaths. Beautiful. Slowly coming back up. Maybe taking a sip of water before we make our way down to our back. So bend in the knees, Soles of the feet are on the mat, bringing yourself down. And then we're gonna bring our feet close to our butt. We're gonna come into a moving bridge sequence. So you wanna make sure your feet are as close to your butt as you can get. Your hands or your arms are alongside. Maybe you can check to see, maybe you can tickle your heels with your fingertips. That's how you know you'll be in good alignment for your body. Now palms are facing down, they're on your mat. We're gonna inhale first and just come up to a bridge. Inhale, slowly lifting the hips towards the ceiling, engaging our glutes and our inner thighs here. And then exhale, slowly coming back down, butt comes down last. Now for the sequence, what's gonna happen is we're gonna be using our arms as we move. So when we inhale and we come up to bridge, your arms are coming up overhead and back. And then exhale, as your butt comes back down, arms come back down to the mat. So we're gonna do that 4 more times. Inhale, moving slowly. Exhale, back. 3 more, following your own breath. Last one. Beautiful. So that's really good for stabilizing the pelvic floor. Now, coming into a figure 4 at the legs, crossing the left over the right, and just allowing your legs to fall towards the right side. We're coming into a twist here. And if this doesn't feel comfortable, you can just do this with both your legs on the ground. If you can do this figure 4 twist, I invite you to, it feels really good. Now either bringing your hands to a T shoulder height or to cactus. I don't have enough room to do a T, so I'm gonna do cactus. And then gazing over the left shoulder. And I like to bring, you bring your right hand to your belly. So you can feel your breath moving through your body. And allow this to help you connect deeper to stillness. Maybe closing down the eyes. And on your next inhale, head will come back up to center. Legs will come back up. Bring the left foot down to the mat. And then we're switching to the other side. So crossing the right over the left. And letting your legs, your foot fall towards the left. Oh, I gotta move farther away. Arms are either shoulder height in a T or a cactus. And then now looking over the right shoulder. And maybe bringing that left hand to your belly, closing down the eyes, and just focusing on your breath. And inhale, head will come back up to center, followed by your legs. Bring that right foot back down to the mat. And then bring your knees in close to your chest. Begin to rock just gently from side to side, just giving your low back, your sacrum a bit of a massage. You can stay here, maybe bring your knees out wider as if they're coming towards your armpits. And this is just a nice like half happy baby, or you can come into full happy baby. Feet come towards the ceiling, grabbing the outsides of our feet. And again, you can rock a little bit from side to side. Bring a smile to your face. We are happy babies. And then letting that go, giving yourself a final hug. And then coming down into your Shavasana. And I'm going to give a few options so you can decide. You can come into a regular Shavasana. Legs are long on the mat, arms are, further enough from your body that your armpits can breathe. You can stay like this. Or maybe you bring the soles of your feet together, knees coming out wide, coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana, the butterfly lying down. Or maybe if your low back is bothering you at all, bend at your knees, feet are as wide as your mat, and knees are knocking in together. And just use the next 5 to 10 breaths to settle into your Shavasana and just soak up all of the benefits from today's practice. You worked so hard, you did so well. Your body, mind, and soul is so thankful. Begin to deepen your breath. Maybe wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes, rolling out the wrists or the ankles. Wherever you were, I want you to bring your legs together and arms up overhead, taking a big stretch on your inhale. Exhale, release. Soles of the feet will come to the mat, knees are bent, rolling over onto your right side, using your right arm as a pillow as we take a breath here in this fetal position. And before we sit back up, I want you to come back to your intention for the practice for the day. Just repeat it to yourself silently. Beautiful. Now slowly pushing yourself back up to a seated position. We're going to end now with some rounds of Nadi Shodhana, which is also known as alternate nostril breathing. Now, this is the most wonderful way to balance the yin and yang energies of your body, as well as tone your vagus nerve. And our vagus nerve helps our central nervous system come into a state of ventral, which is where we experience joy, pleasure, love, abundance, connection. And that's what we want to go forward with for our day. So I'll come a bit closer in case you're not familiar with Nadi Shodhana. What the heck is this girl going to teach us? So you're going to use your dominant hand. For me, that's my right hand. And we're going to be using our thumb and our ring finger. Your ring finger is going to cover your left nostril and your thumb your right. And so we are going to be using that to help us breathe through each nostril separately. So just take a couple breaths on your own, in and out. Get yourself settled. And then inhale, close the left nostril, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. Close, exhale out the left. Inhale through the left. Close, exhale out the right. Inhale through the right. Close, exhale out the left. Two more on each side. Letting that go, just taking a couple breaths. And then bringing your hands to prayer in front of your heart center, Anjali Mudra, bowing your head. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing today. I hope you enjoyed the class.